The DAZN curse strikes again. Ryan Garcia and Oscar De La Hoya public jab. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Sign up for it. ESPN Plus. Link in the description. They got a ton of content. It does help the channel when you guys click on that link. So the link is in the description. You can get ESPN Plus as a standalone app or bundle it. ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus, all three apps, one price, $12.99 a month. Also, you can hit the Patreon up or the YouTube channel. Now, De La Hoya posted some recent things, and it looked like it got a response out of Ryan Garcia. So you see Oscar De La Hoya retweeted this. I'll jump right in the mix for you guys. It says Ryan Garcia, this is a boxing guy or reporter or whatever, who tweeted, Ryan Garcia is getting bad advice. 2 fights ago, he said, quote, I signed a new deal with Oscar De La Hoya. That's the richest ever for a guy at my level. Now 2 fights later, he's saying it's a bad deal. And now he's refusing to fight. He's not taking into consideration, basically, no crowds and added COVID testing. Bad advice. So this was the person's opinion. But as you guys could see, Oscar retweeted this. You see? So he's agreeing. You know, to me, that's kind of like you're agreeing with what's being said when you retweet it to a degree when it's something that's that direct and specific. Then Oscar De La Hoya says, due to Team Ryan Garcia, and he tagged him, due to Team Ryan Garcia decision not to accept a July 4th bout, we will now return in late July with the future of boxing. Virgil Ortiz. More exciting details to follow at Golden Boy. So this is really kind of like a snarky comment from De La Hoya at Ryan Garcia. So Oscar De La Hoya says, best prospect. I'm just going to try to pull up some of this. If you guys remember, there was some discord and it was an issue last year, just last year, where Oscar De La Hoya anointed Virgil Ortiz as the best prospect he has after Ryan Garcia put up a fuss saying that he being Virgil Ortiz is basically the best young fighter that he has. And Ryan Garcia was angry because he said he wasn't getting paid properly. You see articles like this, De La Hoya strikes back at perception his fighters are sparring with him. And it's included in here with the Ryan Garcia situation. But it seemingly was patched up, but now it looks like there's more issues. So you see Ryan Garcia erupts after De La Hoya tabs Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is the best prospect. This was just September of last year. So there was disconnect between Ryan Garcia and Golden Boy, and also at the time, Canelo and Golden Boy. The Canelo situation, and they're stablemates. Canelo, I don't think, has ever resolved his issue with De La Hoya. They just do business together because it's contracted. It's, you know, it's contractual. Now you have this. Once again, due to Ryan Garcia, he's blaming all of it on Ryan Garcia. It says blaming on or based on Ryan Garcia's decision not to accept a July 4th bout, we will now return in July with the future of boxing. So the fact that he said the future of boxing kind of drudges up that past emotions and the past snarky comment and the exchange of the war of words that they've had in the past. Because you didn't have to put the future of boxing. To me, that's a jab at Ryan Garcia again. So Ryan Garcia obviously got wind. He was tagged in it, got wind of this, and he responded. I think he has since deleted this. But as you guys see, people are hitting me up. Boxingego, the DAZN curse. Everyone's talking about it. Ryan Garcia says, you do realize you're supposed to be my promoter, not a hater, right? And then he's responding to that tweet where he says the future of boxing won't Virgil Ortiz. Listen, the DAZN curse continues. I've been telling you guys the same thing. If you can't see it by now, I don't know what it is. Me personally, I don't think Ryan Garcia is getting bad advice. I think if you look at the numbers and stats, I don't care about COVID and all that. Like, at the end of the day, the amount of money that should be behind him, he should be, besides Canelo, I'm talking about Oscar's fighters. Ryan is the biggest you have. Why would no disrespect to Virgil Ortiz, I like the kid, but he hasn't fought nobody, and he doesn't have the type of following right now that Ryan Garcia has. No matter what, even if you think one guy's more skilled than none of that, man. I'm talking solely about the business. This kid got 6.4 million followers. Neither one of them have fought the elite names. They're both young, but the difference is the branding power. So De La Hoya can replace or try to replace and give the date or, the month, comeback fight to Virgil Ortiz, but it's not going to be the same as someone who's branded heavier. This kid has 6.4 million. Look, just to put this in perspective, I'm not comparing skill or resume. I'm just talking about branding power, which has to amount for something. Ryan Garcia has 6.4 million followers. Canelo got 6.7. So it's safe to say the kid has traction. He's doing these little videos doing 3 mil on the gram, 3 million views on the gram. So he's making some noise. If I look at Virgil Ortiz, I don't even know if he would have 1 million followers at this point. He's unknown. See, look, he don't even have 100,000. You see what I'm saying? He don't even have 100,000. Now that's not to cop a squat on his skills. It's just Ryan's feeling like you got to pay like you weigh. And I understand that. Why would Ryan be getting 200,000, but Mikey Garcia off a loss to Errol Spence on the same platform gets $7 million? But you see, look, SportsCenter, ESPN, 2,722 likes. ESPN would like to request permission to use your clip on all of our platforms. So the kid, he has drawing power. There's no denying that. Why? SportsCenter, no disrespect to anybody. We talking facts. I don't see SportsCenter and ESPN posting Virgil Ortiz training footage or asking for permission and getting 2,000 likes. So Ryan has a right to want a fair purse. With all the money, pandemic or not, DAZN has egregiously spent, and now you have this kid and you can't seem to keep him happy monetarily, and he's bringing exposure to your platform. That doesn't make sense. Like, why would me as a YouTuber who's been around for years and put in all these videos, covered all these fights, built relationship with fighters and trainers and things like that, you can't disrespect me, from a business perspective. Like the sponsorship deals, I get offered all types of sponsorship deals, but I'm not taking those sponsorship deals where the compensation is just you giving me free products, unless that free product is like a Sony PS5 or something. You got to pay like you weigh. I'm not one of these new YouTube channels that just started with 500 subscribers. No disrespect to them, but that's not where I'm at. So I feel like same thing with Ryan Garcia. He's making noise and he wants to get paid accordingly. De La Hoya, this is a bad look for DAZN, because De La Hoya, you can replace Ryan Garcia in terms of the actual July comeback fight or whatnot, give it to someone else, but that someone else is probably not going to be in a big fight against a big opponent post-pandemic, nor does that person have the fan base of a Ryan Garcia at the moment. So you're better off. That tells me that DAZN might be in dire straits financially, because the kid just knocked out 2 people in 1 round and has the fan base that we could see, at least got the social media stuff on lock, but you don't want to pay him to have him return. Like, what part of the game is that? And for me, I think it's bad business that Golden Boy is publicly having spats with their fighters, Canelo, Ryan Garcia. And it's bad for DAZN as well, because how you have really 2 promoters, Eddie Hearn and Golden Boy, right? Oscar De La Hoya. And you see all this discord. Like today, literally today, the DAZN curse. I might make separate videos about this just so I can, get the money and the views for it. I'm keeping it real. Boxingego. Today, you see Ryan Garcia and Oscar going at it. I seen an article that said Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo not likely. I seen information and tweets and articles that come out that said Maurice Hooker and Regis Prograis aren't going to fight because they're arguing over 1 pound and reduced purses. and they can't find a middle ground on what the weight should be, 144, 145. That's already 3, right? I seen Dillian White is suing the WBC. I made a video about that. How is everybody on DAZN got issues? That's not a good spot to be in. You know, on top of DAZN customers angry on the internet, DAZN furloughing employees, DAZN fights falling apart, the pandemic, you know, all these little things add up. And I feel like for Golden Boy, without a doubt, your biggest profile guys and guys that if they post something, it'll make noise are Canelo for Golden Boy and Ryan Garcia. And those are subsequently 2 fighters that aren't happy. Canelo's not happy for his own reason. He feels that De La Hoya got a $90 million deal off his back and he ain't entitled to none of that money. So he feels like he got snaked. Ryan's arguing with pay. And it's funny because people said that Al Heyman was the cancer and he was blocking fights. But I don't really see Heyman's fighters angry like this and say, hey, I'm underpaid. UFC fighters right now, a lot of them, John Jones, Hoya Masvidal, different people, they've had these public spats. So this is not a good look. And the other issue is Ryan Garcia seemed down to fight Abner Matas, a PBC fighter. So what we heard was Golden Boy said Abner Matas, they don't want to make that fight because he's too old or he's been out of the ring 2 years and he's coming from a smaller division. But who are you going to fight? Who are you going to fight? Look, here's the tweet. It's just, this is a bad look. Lance Pugmire of The Athletic. I am told by Golden Boy Boxing president Eric Gomez that Ryan Garcia will fight at Fantasy Springs July 4th and the opponent will not be Abner Matas because Abner Matas has been out of the ring so long and he's undersized. But if you can't give Ryan Garcia a bigger fight than Abner Matas, what are we talking about? Who cares if you say Abner Matas is undersized? That will be the biggest name that Ryan Garcia has faced. So you're pretty much holding him back, you know? That's a solid fight. I would watch it. You know, and you're saying he's been out the ring so long. And then now they're saying he's not even fighting July 4th. Look, Abner Matas said, I'm going to leave this here. Look, I know Ryan Garcia does want to fight me, and I heard DAZN is open for discussion. Also have someone from DAZN call me, and we can make this fight in 5 minutes. But it's Golden Boy who don't want it. And then reading the reasons / excuses, my God. Then they say, why can't fights be made? Shaking my head. Boxing, hashtag the nerve, hashtag Team Matas, hashtag PBC. Bro, this looks like the deconstruction of DAZN. You can't use Ryan wants to fight, Abner wants to fight, DAZN is interested in the fight, but clearly Golden Boy don't want the fight. That's apparent. They don't want the fight for whatever reason. Probably they don't want to work with Al Heyman. They don't want Abner Matas to potentially win or give him the opportunity to potentially win and play spoiler and whatever. Ryan's complaining about his pay. I mean, it's just, this is all negative, bad stuff. And now you have the fighter once again in a public spat saying, you realize you're supposed to be my promoter, not a hater. You know, how is it that you have 2 stars on Golden Boy, Ryan and Canelo, and they both mad at De La Hoya? But once again, I told you, old media is dead. Once again, old media said Al Heyman was the problem and he was the cancer of boxing. But how is it that the 2 guys you need to take care of on Golden Boy don't feel like they've been taken care of or they've been lied to or whatever? They can't seemingly get the fights that they want. Ryan Garcia is doing numbers and you think you could replace him with Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz most likely is not going to fight a big name, you know, first fight back off a pandemic, and he has a lesser brand than this kid right here. Look, he got 6 million views on this. This is the DAZN curse continues. I don't know what else to say. Pay the kid, get his career, you know, to the next level. He seems like, I've always said that Ryan Garcia seems like he wants the big fights. I give him that. But it makes him look bad in the process because he keeps talking about the fights. And then that also turns fans away because they're like, man, Ryan he's all talk. But his promoter has to be on board with the same mission. It can't just be Ryan Garcia calling out Devin Haney and Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis and his promoter ain't making the fights. Abner Mares, Henry Cejudo, like he's called out everybody. You got to take the training wheels off. But I feel like these are the two stars with Golden Boy. If you had, like, as a business, I'm just talking about the business. This is not a slight to any fighter. As a business, you got to take care of your best employees. You can't have your best 2 employees, which would be for Golden Boy, the 2 people you see on the screen, and they disgruntled and angry with you. I don't see how that's going to work for you in your benefit. Canelo's mad at De La Hoya, and Ryan is angry and calling his promoter a hater. But once again, old media, let them tell it. They say it's Heyman that's the cancer of boxing and hurting. And didn't Golden Boy sue Al Heyman and PBC saying he was blocking fights? So let's really talk about it. Let's open the discussion in the comment section. Who's really blocking the fights? Ryan wants it. Abner wants it. Al Heyman is willing to send Abner Mares. You have never heard anything from Abner Mares' side saying, but it was who? It was Golden Boy Promotions, who is being quoted through a neutral source, you know, a reporter that's not signed to PBC or Golden Boy, saying we don't want to fight Abner Mares because he's been out of the ring so long and he's undersized. But Fonseca's not undersized. Ryan's a big kid. It's like, it looks like his closing call. The Zone Curse continues. We're going to talk about this some more. Shout out to Ryan Garcia. Let me know what you guys think. We working.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack.